Yo, what it do, YouTube? It's your boy Coach Shark. We're back with another video. We appreciate you guys for tuning in, and we got a lot to talk about. It's going to be an interesting one. I don't know how many people are going to feel about it going towards this reaction to the game between the Bengals and the Colts, which was the last game of the preseason. Anthony Richardson did not play well, and it had a lot of Colts fans, on edge of how they're going to feel going towards the season because it's going to be against the Houston Texans week one, and that's a game with a lot of pressure to start the season off, in my opinion, honestly. And I think fans are going overboard with how he played in the last game. Of course, it was against backups and things of that nature, but we got to forget we got to remember that Anthony Richardson is coming back from a shoulder injury, right? So I don't know how people are expecting the process to go with recovery and how to go straight out the gate and just be on 10. To start off the game, I thought the opening drive was incredible. I thought it was an incredible opening drive, and it's something you would want to see from this team. And the potential of what it could be, going into the season with the offense and the scheme with Shane Steichen going forward. We've seen what it can do potentially with the backup quarterback in Gardner Minshew. Implement Anthony Richardson and his game and his ability can take it to a whole nother level. And let's not forget that we still have Jonathan Taylor as the running back, so, of course, that's going to alleviate some of the issues that may concern you moving forward. There was a lot of balls that he threw that was sailed. He sailed a lot of footballs, and the pick six was a miscommunication between him and Granson. It was an option route, from what I was told. So on Granson's part, so of course it was miscommunication that led to a pick six. It wouldn't have been pick six if it wasn't so close to the end zone. So that's just my take on that. And it wasn't an awful pick. It was like 10 yards. So of course, he could have anybody could have ran that to the back to the house for a pick six. It was a bad throw. It wasn't a horrible throw. We've seen pick sixes that was worse. We've seen people. I'm not even going to get into it. We've seen quarterbacks throw worse passes than what that was. It was just a slight miscommunication. It is what it is at the end of the day. He threw a beautiful pass to AD Mitchell to start the drive, to start the game off with a touchdown. Even that whole drive was just a beautiful drive. And it's something you was like, okay, he's shown you the potential of what he can do. The next two drives and the drive where he fumbled was like, all right, you get that out of your system, figure it out, and how do you grow from this? This is just a process that we know Anthony Richardson can develop. He learns from his mistakes very easily. So I'm not the slightest bit of concerned about him going forward. Of course, like I said, the passes that's going to be overthrown, that's going to happen. But I don't think it's going to be as consistent as everyone thinks. Like I said, this is the same guy that a lot of Colts fans was, advocating for him to play the last preseason game against the Cardinals. They wanted him to have more snaps. So this is all just chemistry and bonding and getting the repetitions to go into the week one game because it's a lot of pressure. We know what the Texans are going to bring. A lot of teams are not using their starters right now. The Colts are using their starters in the last game. So that shows you how much they want to mentally prepare and be ready for week one. And I'm totally fine with that. Like I said, the offense, it wasn't great. But like I said, you're going to learn from that. And, and this is the team that's not going to see a lot of football until week one. After this last preseason game, I think they got like a 2 week break. And, that can do a lot for a team going into week one. I don't know how players are going to react to it, but I think honestly, you can take a lot of this from the preseason game and, be fine with it, be content. Like I said, I think the Anthony Richardson bad game was overhyped. Like I said, the throws could have been better, but I think everyone's taking it overboard and overreacting. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be an issue going into week one. And the offense was vanilla, like I said, in my opinion. I don't think Shane Steichen went deep in his bag with the playbook. We didn't even see a lot of QB runs. We didn't see any QB runs at all. But I think when you look at how he viewed the field and processed it, I think that's what you should actually be looking at. I think, with the RPO, even the RPO pass, he read the blitz in a blink of an eye. It was that fast. So I think when you see and watch Anthony Richardson, how he approaches the defenses, I think that's what you should take into consideration instead of the bad plays. like the fumble and things of that nature. It's a part of the process as well. Like he's not perfect. This guy still has to, get his feet under him and get the whole process of being an actual NFL quarterback. And it's going to take time. Like I said, if this was another quarterback, you'll probably see a different outing. But the Colts know what the situation is with this quarterback, and we know the process is going to take some time to develop, and that's okay. Like I said, we're still a young team. We still got a lot to work on, and it is what it is at the end of the day. Moving forward, the run game. I'm going to mention some players that stood out in this last game, and moving forward, it's going to be an interesting cut day for the Colts because there are so many players that I want to see on this roster that might not make it. It's unfortunate. I would just say the run game is going to be so tough. It's going to be so tough to find out who's not going to make this roster because you can't have every running back. I just want to mention that Laquan Treadwell, I would love to see him make the roster. I think he proved himself through the training camp and preseason. He is a vet, but I think he earned this spot on the field. Like I said, Anthony Gould was a dog. We know he's going to make the roster. He's a special teams unit, but even him at receiver, like he's shown flashes, man. And I think he definitely deserves a spot. Xavier Scott, I hope he makes the roster. He is so good, man. He is really good. He reminded me of Trey Sermon when he stepped on the scene. When Trey Sermon stepped on the scene, he was an impact, and I think that's the same thing that Xavier Scott had. Evan Hall had a good run as well in training camp and preseason at the running back position. Even Tyler Goodson, like I said, all of these guys deserve a shot at the position to make the roster. It's going to be so tough. Will Mallory, that's a no question. We know he's going to make it. Shout out to Latu. Latu is so ready for the season, man. This dude at the opening drive, like he just shot out of a cannon. He is so ready and prepared. And I think he's going to be a huge boost to this defense going into the season that it's going to go under the radar for a lot of people. I can see it now, and that's totally fine. Other than that, we know Isaiah Land is another person that we would love to see make the roster. It's going to be interesting. I think Jalen Carley's should make the roster as well for the CB5 spot. It's going to be tough, man. Ronnie Harrison had a really good preseason game. He laid the boom on a lot of good plays, and just like coverage wise, he did really good. So Ronnie Harrison playing the safety position after transferring from the linebacker position. He started originally at the safety, but converted to linebacker, and then he went back to safety with the Colts. And I think he had himself a good outing as well. So, like I said, it's going to be very interesting to see what they do with this roster and this cut period going forward. Kylan Granson he doesn't bother me as well. He made some good plays. I think a lot of people are going to take it out of context because of the miscommunication with Anthony Richardson that led to the pick six. But even before that, I think he made some good catches. Like I said, Anthony Richardson had some beautiful balls. He was 7 for 8 before the drives went downhill, but he kept his composure. He knew his mistakes. He watched it. He read from it. And you can just see the communication between him and the players. All of it wasn't his fault. So it's just flat out miscommunications. It is what it is. AD Mitchell, like I said, he was cooking before he got taken out. And Laquan Treadwell, I mentioned again in the running back room. So other than that, we've seen Matt Goncalves, I'm mispronouncing it, but we've seen him transitioning from the interior to he was outside. He played left tackle and right tackle. They were just moving him around. He is an experiment. I think he could play multiple positions on the offensive line, so that was good to see as well. Other than that, Eric Johnson did a fumble recovery, and Tootsie was the one that forced the fumble. He is a hometown native, so that was good to see. But it was interesting, man. This game was really interesting. Like I said, it was dry for a long period, but it started to pick up later on in the second half. Jason Bean was out there doing what he does best. The touchdown he scored, they got challenged, but they called it in, reviewed it, and called it a touchdown. Like I was screaming at the monitor for him to run into the touchdown because he had so much time. He was just waiting, and I was like, just run it in. It was wide open, but he waited until the last second and still got in. So Jason Bean, it's unfortunate. I hope he makes the roster, but I don't know how guaranteed it is. Even Slavis, Keaton Slavis he was doing pretty good as well. He had some nice throws. But like I said, it's going to be so interesting. I don't know what they're going to do with Sam Ellinger, but if it was up to me, QB3 would be Jason Bean. And Sam Ellinger is the preseason GOAT still. I get it. I understand. But he is another guy like Xavier Scott. If the opportunity comes for these guys to go elsewhere to get more time, they're going to take it. It's that simple. They're going to be hot commodities if they were not to make the roster. And that's a good thing for them. It's a good thing for them because the preseason is all about opportunity. You're fighting for your spot on any roster. All 31 teams are watching the preseason games that you play. It's not just the Colts. It's not just the Bengals. It's all 32 NFL teams. All of them. They're all watching the game. So this is just the opportunity for everybody. Like I said, I'm pretty sure somebody's going to claim these guys off waivers, or if they do not make the roster for the Colts. So it's going to be tough, man. It really is. So you guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section on who should make the roster, who shouldn't. All of these things into consideration. We will be back moving forward. The season is right around the corner. We got to prep you guys for this Houston Texans game. But that is until next time. This is Culture Shock. I appreciate you guys, and I am out.